Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365. I'm Den Haring. You know, a few months ago, I had some vacation time. It was a Thursday and Friday, September 14th and 15th, I believe, and I was at Lake Wallenpaupack, and the plan was to get out there on Thursday the 14th, fish in the morning, find some fish, and then my brother was going to come up and join me, and the plan was that we'd both catch some nice fish when he got there in the afternoon. But it didn't go as planned because when I got out there, I launched the boat from the Fish Commission boat launch, and on my way over to Schumann Point, I decided to just run the motor slowly and look around. So I had the electronics on, and I was just kind of looking, wondering if there were stripers or any other fish down there, and all of a sudden the motor just shut off. It just died, and I couldn't get it started again. Tried a bunch of different things, made sure the battery was connected well, had gas, made sure I didn't accidentally flip the kill switch. Everything was fine, but the motor didn't start. So I was at a loss to figure out what to do. I thought I'd make some phone calls to see if I can find a marina nearby that would be willing to work on it. And one of the marinas I called, my son and I had rented a jet ski there earlier in the summer, but we weren't regular customers, and they just told us, so if you're not a regular customer, we're not going to do a service like that the same day. So that was no good. But then I called Backer Marine. I don't know if it's pronounced Backer or Baker. I think it's B-A-K-K-E-R. They're just up the road, just a little bit from that boat launch, just a mile or so, maybe not even that much. And those guys were great. Like the guy that answered the phone, he listened to what the issue was. He said, if you can get it here, we should be able to get it, fixed up, or at least we'll look at it. Long story short, I had it there at 11 a.m. and by 2 p.m. I was back fishing again. So a great shout out to Backer Marine. You guys did a great job. Anybody who ever has a breakdown there, I recommend them. The reason why I found them is because I was looking at reviews, and the same thing happened to somebody else, and they had them on the lake back on the lake the same day as well. So great guys there. They're willing to work with you and get you back on the water, and they realize it's your vacation time, so it was a good thing. So I went back out there, called my brother and said, hey, you can keep planning on coming, I'm back on the water again. And when he got there, we started fishing where I had been throughout most of the summer, which was on the sides of some points out in about 22 to 26 feet of water. And the fishing changed. Back in the summer, I was catching them consistently out there, 2.5, 3.5 pounders. But when my brother and I were there in mid-September, we couldn't get anything bigger than 10 inches. It was like we were catching some fish, but they were all little 8 to 10 inch fish. The big ones seemed to have moved. And so I was starting to wonder in my mind, where did they go? And one thing that happened was on my way back, so I had to use the trolling motor to get back to the boat launch to get my boat off to Backer Marine. And on my way back, I was close to the bank in Mangan Cove, and I noticed that along the bank there, the water was down a little bit because it was mid-September. I noticed that there were a couple of cabbage patches about the size of a car each. One was next to a dock, and then there was a space and another cabbage patch. And I thought, boy, and it was thick and it was green. I thought, boy, that looks good, and it's so easy to miss. You just go right by that without seeing it. So I thought, well, when I come back out there sometime, I'll fish it. So the next morning I came out, my brother had gone back home, and I fished it and I caught a smallmouth there. And once I found that, then I started to look for more of this and found more of it, and was able to put something together where I caught some, the fish weren't great size and it wasn't the best pattern, but it was, I didn't have a lot of time to figure something else out, and it was something that got me better quality fish than what I was doing. So I was thankful for it, because what happened was I found a couple of these patches in other areas, and patches that were related to the sides of points is where I caught them. And there were a few other patches I fished that didn't seem to have any in them, or that I just couldn't get them to bite there. But I was, it was like 50-50. For one out of every 2 patches you found, you got fish there. And so that's a pretty good pattern. I didn't get all the fish on film, because another thing that happened that day was when my brother and I were fishing, I had put the camera on a little selfie stick and shoved it into the anchor light hole in the boat. And then later I forgot about it, and we zoomed off, and by the time we got to our spot, it was gone. It was down at the bottom of the lake. So I had a backup camera, and that's how I lost some fish catches. But anyway, long story short, I got a much better camera now and been enjoying using that. I got a GoPro Hero 10 Black. It's a good camera, and so it means better quality video for you guys as well. What I was throwing in there was just a standard Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver. This is one of my favorite baits to throw, with a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight, and I was just letting that weight free flow like this and just pitching into those patches. Usually they would hit it on the initial fall. Sometimes they'd pick it up after it was on the bottom for a while, but it was the only thing I could really find consistently during that period when I was up there. So you just never know. Things change like that. But I was lucky enough to observe a couple of patches. I thought, well, let's try it, and sure enough, there were fish there. They were using the deeper portion of these patches. 6, 7, 8 feet, I think, was around the depth that they seem to be using. I'm sure they're not there now anymore because things have changed more. The water's gone down more. But that was one of the things that happened too at that time. It got a little cool and then it got warm again. We had a real long series of warm weather. And I think the fish were just kind of like, transitioning, and the water was going down, and just a bit of a struggle. But those darn cabbage patches saved me for that trip. At least I caught some fish that way. Just wanted to share that with you. You can watch some of these catches right now. Cabbage patch smallmouth. We got one. Come on. Smallmouth. So what we found for today and yesterday is the small ones are out deeper. I don't know. I got to find the bigger ones. I caught that bigger one in the cabbage, so maybe I got to fish shallower for the big guys. There we go. Little guy with the cabbage patch bite is still on. Little heftier. We're upgrading on each one, folks. Nice little upgrade, largemouth, cabbage patch bite. Keep it tuned here for next time, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.